Okay, I just thought I'd read from some recent comments after Dave Lewis posted a funny cartoon about a woman in the desert desperate for accurate media sources, accurate media news sources. And I've said, forget it. Truth is within, conflict is without. Dave says, okay, Yogi Bear. And I say, okay, I'll come back, Dave. Are we wanting these chains? Propaganda is actually a euphemism. Dave, a euphemism for what? I like your comment. You hurt my brain in a good way. I say, propaganda is a euphemism for chains. Bob Marley said, none but ourselves can free our minds. Media ain't just there to sell crap, but also to feed you an identity, like the girl in the desert above, who wants to understand herself as informed, knowledgeable across issues. Did she bother to ask how come she be there? Like Leon's turtle in Blade Runner. Dave. Good point. I agree in part. From a personal and spiritual point of view, sure, who needs media? However, the irresponsibility of the media and the corporate boots it licks has a real and devastating effect on society and the environment. For instance, people are suffering and dying in places like Nauru partly because of our media. Coal is being extracted and burnt with devastating effects largely because of our media. So even though I could imagine myself getting along fine with no media at all, the fact of a far-reaching and irresponsible corporate-owned media would still continue to be a real force for evil in the world. So I liked that comment and say, we both work the idea that we are the means to the ends of others. We must also work the idea that our rights are the obligations of others. Dave, if you come to the conclusion that it's worthwhile starting an Australian political party from scratch, as I have, then let me know. Thereafter, the arguments against self-interest and for the political economy can be worked upon and applied as an expression of sound values in the public realm. And I continue in a further comment. If the media's intentions cannot be trusted, we shall also work from the presumption that the media's content is suspect, that the slant on the story is not just moralistic or ignorant, but is also a strategic effort in favour of organised interests. That will presume that. Then I proceed to go on. The political economy is that which moderates external conflicts. The poly's role is to understand the equity issues of the conflict and to execute practical measures in response, i.e. policy, lawmaking, etc. The greater the leader, the more skill they have for maximising the utility of the errors of the media, hopefully in favour of the public interest and the common good. And that's it for the comments on David Lewis's posting of or sharing Theo Dzelak's photo. Must find accurate news source. I suppose we work from the assumption that there is no such thing as an accurate news source. There is only perspectives of interests. Now, we may respond in all sorts of ways to that reality, but here the comments are around what shall be the political response. Quite seriously, I see it as a solution to issues like this to create a new Australian political party. My skills are not in all the areas, so I need others, and I need how to relate to others to get outcomes, make it worthwhile, to manage that kind of power. and of course to satisfy the public. Often it's public interest that's the goal. Now, people can identify politics as a whole lot of game playing, and perhaps that's there's a lot of skill that's taken from game playing and applied to the benefit of the people. I don't doubt that there's the positive side of strategic, calculated planning and plotting, but to talk of it like that, say plot rather than plan, that tells you that this is about language, this issue is about the metaphor used at a particular juncture in the public realm, that which becomes public record, that which the media utilises. And it is the media that's the subject of that post in Facebook. The media utilises. They take events and facts and they create stories with those. A story is not a fact. A story is a presentation of a fact. A fact is not a value. So look, we are squarely, as far as I'm concerned, being trained in philosophy, that's what I'll focus on. We are in squarely, for me, we're always in that philosophical frame, such that I will talk about language and particularly metaphor. So remember that one. You can say someone's planned something, someone's calculated something, someone has plotted something. So you really, you've got these moderating metaphors such that you paint a picture. You're squarely in that political economy as aesthetic economy, as Adorno and others have reminded us. The political economy is an aesthetic one. Okay, so that's 7 minutes, and I'll leave it at that. Gotta walk the dog.